Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Streaming Rainbow. I am the Game Master here, Eli. It's been a second, so welcome back to hell, everybody. Seeing some new faces in the chat. Hello. Awesome to see you guys. As a reminder, this is a 5e homebrew campaign set to the theme of Dante's Inferno. So it's just a really lighthearted, stroll through the 9 levels of hell and the outside of it. Now you might notice some weird faces, some different faces from the last time you saw Inferno, and that's because I did something very sneaky, and with every level of hell my players change faces. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Starting with one of our returning players. We are always thrilled to have him back at the table. This is my second time GMing him, and I will never stop. So Blackwell, if you could introduce yourself.
Had to make sure all 3 of my mute buttons were back on, because if one's not on, all of them are on. But hi, hello, how is everyone doing? My name is Blackwell, your everyman in the TTRPG D&D verse here on the interwebs. I'm just here to show you that, hey, I'm a regular dude, to show you that, hey, you can do this too. You can come on here, play an awesome game, tell a cool story, and then go back to your 9-to-5 job in the morning, or if you're like me, you have a kaiju to wake up to.
Hell yeah. And as you saw in the intro, unfortunately, Blackwell has suffered a loss. So if you guys could go check out, there's a link in the chat for the GoFundMe to help support him. We love to support our community. And if you can do it, we really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Moving along to a new person to our table, and our pagan, Lex.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lex. I will be joining you all as the pagan for this stint in the journey. And you can find me everywhere at Lex Get Pizza. I like to say that I'm a TTRPG vagabond, however, so I kind of go wherever I feel and play games with some of the coolest people in the space. So I'm incredibly excited to be here and excited to join this wonderful cast of people. Just super excited.
Thank you. And the other new person at our table, who is honestly a trooper, just the fucking trooper, Taya, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Taya. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm a UK-based actor and TTRPG performer, which means it's currently 1:13 a.m. And I think that just goes to show that I have so rarely been so excited to play a game with a group of people. I'm so excited to be your saint throughout this next stint of hell. You can find me at Taya Campbellova on most platforms, and you can also always find me at Damsels in Distress, where I'm probably crying in a Regency ball gown playing D&D in a different hellish setting.
Definitely go watch it. It's really good and really entertaining, especially if, like myself, you are a fan of Regency and Jane Austen. It's really funny to see what they do with that. I got to imagine what it'd be like for Mrs. Bennet to be transferred to another plane of existence, and that just made me laugh a lot. It was really good. And finally, last but very much not least, also returning to the Streaming Rainbow channel, River.
Hi, my name is River Cohen Glassberg. I will be your prophet for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I've been here with Streaming Rainbow for a hot minute. You can find me on Instagram or Threads at Glassberg_River. I don't post too much, but I'm trying to get better about that. Yeah, hi. I cannot wait to show you all the way to salvation.
Listen, not ominous at all. It's great. We're all good here. As a reminder, this is like I said, this is Dante's Inferno. So we will be discussing potentially topics about loss and death and sin and redemption. So protect your own mental health. We are here to help and make you feel good and maybe a little creeped out, but not bad and sad. So yeah, we love you either way. So I think this is where we go. Are my players ready to enter through the gates?
Ready as will ever be.
Perfect.
Into hell. Into hell.
Into hell. Into hell. Into hell.
So creepy. Awesome. You all, as you entered through the Eternal Gate, this massive structure on a beach that was definitely no bones at all and only stones with a roiling sea of just water. You all enter through the gate with the guide in front of you holding the torch that holds hope. As you step through with the guide holding that torch aloft, anybody who expended hope points in Canto 1, which would be our serpent, and I believe our prophet, you have full hope.
Wow, that's so different. All right.
So different. That was a surprise.
You feel determined.
The reason being, as the guide, as the doors just, it creaks shut, but it is such a massive structure that the creaking reverberates through your incorporeal bodies, just vibrating you until it slams shut. And the guide turns to you and says, all right. With those closed, this is the only place that you can get any light from. If you noticed in the first, before the gate, everything, you always just kind of came back. That will not happen unless you are close to me and the light. So above table, you guys, the gates of hell are blocking the hope of the highest, which is what this light. So this light, hey, listen, prophet, you chill.
The highest.
That's what it's
I'm
called.
sorry, it's not 420 yet. Anyway.
Well, not yet. Happy Good Friday, everybody. So as you, it basically, with that door closed, the gate is shut, and you cannot have access to the hope that the idea of redemption gives you. So moving forward, all hope expended is gone. Noted. So, fun fact. So, Daniel, when you watch this, you could have gone ham. I'm real sorry. Anyway, guide stands there holding the torch and says, okay, here we go. As you all look out, you see a massive expanse rolling down, and you can hear in the dark forest, you heard cries and wails and creaking, but it was this echoey, almost like tinny sound. The tin is gone, and the sounds of wailing and moaning permeate everything as you all look around you and see just droves of half formed bodies walking, gray and pale and everything, walking behind gray banners and just trudging in, just weeping as they go. And the guide, again, looks around, one hand holding the torch, one hand on their hip, and says, all right, so I might have not told you a certain step. So we're not actually in hell yet. We've got a task we have to do first. It's not a big deal. We just have to go that way and get on a boat.
You seem so calm about it.
Oh, well, I've done this a few times. So, yeah. Just
Is there anything else that you need to tell us before we continue?
probably. Can we talk and walk?
Sure. The prophet is just going to... What does the prophet initially see when looking, like, more than just the gray bodies? What is the landscape looking like where we're at in what I, as the player, can only assume is Limbo? It's just like that sort of middling, almost kind of hell spot.
Go ahead and roll me either a nature or a perception.
Let's see what we can do. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go with perception. Oh, that's good. That is a 23.
You see a vast, just swampy landscape that is going down, it feels like forever, down towards a vast river. And you can see what would appear to be a fairly small boat, but you know, based on the distance that you are, that it must be massive. And you, with those bodies, you actually, as you take a look around, you can also see that there is a rhyme, there is a reason, there is order as these bodies are walking in file to that boat to get across that river. You also can see that these people are just being constantly attacked and harried by just swarms of gadflies and just hornets, and they are the ground, because it is swampy, their feet are being dragged down, and it's just they're slogging through. It looks real bad.
Just a little. We
Just a
really
little.
want a vacation here.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Does the line seem long? Like, has there been people who seem like they've been standing here? Like, or
Go ahead and give me. That's a great question. Go ahead and give me like let's call that insight.
Are we in bureaucratic DMV hell?
So hell, yeah.
I think my brain goes into, has there been people who've been here who don't look like they belong in the same time period as us? Like, you're
Okay.
wearing funky looking clothing. I don't recognize that clothing. Or people who wearing clothing that is like, that don't look right at all. Like, what is that? Like colors, shades, and patterns that we don't. Do those even exist? Let's see. I have a. You said insight?
Yeah.
17.
17. So the big thing, that question you asked about colors and shades, there's no color. Everything has been like all color has been drained from this world. And that is something that you notice is different from you and your companions. Well, none of you have the physical manifestations of real bodies, like you don't have faces that you can see. The prophet has the gold sheen of their deer skull. The pagan has the soft light colors of their robes and the beautiful amphora that they carry. And the saint has glittering gold of their halo, and their banner has color. It has like a red red color for their banner. So these people are different. You see a difference, and it's a difference that you also see in the guide. The guide is also lacking in color, making it seem like they are one of these people. But you also so the color, that there's that, but then it's a steady flow. Although you get the impression that it's slow moving, maybe on purpose. And you do see quite an array of different styles of clothing, different cuts and things like that, which might give you the indication not of time, but of distance. There is just from all across the earth, everybody is here.
I wonder, with my insight, could I see if there's anyone that looks familiar? Or would that be more
With
perception?
with that 17 insight, you are pretty far away, so right now you can't see anybody. But before you enter the gate, the guide did say that there will come a time when you will come across a body like one of these with more definition of feature, like the guide, which would give you the indication that they are somebody of note to you. So as for our audience and for the table, listen, I told them this, but it's been a hot second, and I told Canto one. Part of the way of getting redemption here in Inferno is that you have these infernal chronicles that you achieve. So everybody through every Canto will our players will be able to interact with souls to help or hinder them, and that will help lead them towards or away from redemption, and therefore winning the game, whatever that means. So doesn't mean it's not going to happen now, but right now you do not see anybody that is catching your eye in that way. Taya or Lex, is there anything that you would like to look at as you are all standing on this swampy, marshy, awful precipice?
Could I roll insight? I think it would be to see, just like you said, they're being attacked, these bodies, by flies and insects. does it look like they're feeling like physical, like human pain? Is that like registering? Is there suffering and struggle to get down to this boat? Or is it just like a sort of constant thing? Like, do people look like they're being hindered in their journey by it?
Go ahead. Yeah, that's an insight. Go ahead and roll. Well, insight or medicine, maybe.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna do insight. That was carved.
Medicine in hell. Welcome to America.
All right, that's a 14.
14. Sorry, I said it to the Brit who luckily has socialized medicine. Yay! With a 14. I think with a 14, you do get the impression that they are being hindered, but they are probably past. Okay, and as the saint, I would give you this. I think you have this moment, you have this instinct to help, and then you fall back on that, oh yeah, my God. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
These are the people who are on their way to their destination in hell, and suffering is kind of what's supposed to happen.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate.
Lovely.
But yeah. And Lex, anything for you?
I think the pagan is mostly just looking around, trying to get a semblance of location, in the sense that there seems to be some kind of environment here, and obviously they know they're in hell, or they're in a layer of hell. This is not Earth. But a swamp usually leads to something. It's usually close to some form of water and land and all of that. And we know we're heading towards a boat. I think they're just caught up in the fact that they're in a swamp in hell. And this is not what they expected to see when they first arrived in Limbo, or in this liminal space. I don't know if there's anything that I would necessarily be looking to roll for.
Yeah, well, and you don't have to. So, yeah, so the guide kind of, you get the impression the guide's like, okay, I'm going to go and just assume I said that this fire will be the thing that protects you. So they're going to follow, or they're not going to follow. So they're going to start walking, and as you guys are going, I'm going to, as we start, I'm going to need you all to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Fuck.
Okay.
Already? It started so quickly. That's cocked.
Hey, we're in hell. I don't know what to tell you, bud.
That's a 17 plus 2.
Perfect.
It's a 15.
I got another 14 total on the same dice, so I don't know what's going on there.
That's a hot 9.
Oh man. Okay. That was a DC 10 wisdom saving throw.
Sick.
So close, buddy.
Hey,
close.
Look, I love being the willing sacrifice. I'm in.
I love it. So I am going to need you to roll, and I'm going to find it. Hold on. You just wait. You just wait till I find this thing you got to roll on.
You're gonna threaten me, huh?
I am. I'm not. I just gotta find it. It's definitely. Let me tell you, it's a table. It's called the Long-Term Madness Table.
Love it.
So you're gonna have some madness going on. Let me find it. Where are you at, Long-Term Madness Table?
Maggie. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Twitch chat right now, and immediately, Maggie, Eli, no, River likes that. Stop it. No,
I will
put it
say,
down.
River, when you said your bit, I was about to be like, do I need to let you guys have a room? Oh my God.
It's okay. If you want to join, you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fine,
I'm just going to
guys.
start saying shit, and I apologize immediately.
Hey, don't.
The vibe that
Don't
I'm aiming
apologize.
for with this saint is the spicy audiobook narrator all know and love. That's what the voice is right now.
Oh no.
We love it. We
Blackwell, just the quiet. Oh, fucking incredible. Oh my
all right.
god.
Sorry guys. So I'm gonna find this and then I'm gonna tell you what your madness is here in a second. But
Okay.
as you're going, just know that's coming. You got some madness until you take a short rest.
Sick.
So as you guys are walking, you notice that the prophet is feeling some kind of way. Feeling weird. Not great.
Can I insight? And I know this might be used for later. What's like? Is it his usual form of tripping, or is it like, oh, you got something? You got something attached itself to you, kind of tripping.
You are getting the impression that roll insight for that.
If I may, whatever this form of madness may be, just to be preemptive about it, you would more than likely notice the prophet's body begin to tense first. The first thing is, instead of walking led by their chest as though they had a rope at their solar plexus pulling them forward, they're pulled more by their forehead. They've tensed and scrunched down a little bit.
So that's a 9 plus 6, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15?
15. What you can ascertain from this is that it kind of tracks. So the oppressive nature of hell, of the situation, has somehow gotten into the prophet's deer skull. It's there. It's just there.
I think the serpent clocks that as he's following the guide. Have we already established marching order?
No. So that's a great. How do you guys want to follow the guide?
I think the serpent's right next to the guide. He's walking backwards while kind of looking at the group, looking out to the side while asking them various questions about what they're going. I think he would be asking, what is it that you need us to do? What is this goal, this target? What is this place? Like, where exactly in hell are we?
Absolutely. So we've got the serpent. Who's next?
I think the saint is pretty close behind. I think when we went through the gates and were told to stay close to the light, the saint took that seriously. And I think that they've just been so not thrown, but seeing the bodies and the insects and this drudge towards whatever's coming next and being amongst that for the first time has gotten to them, which is why I don't think they've necessarily noticed anything going on with the prophet, and I don't think they've necessarily made any comments about that. I think they're just so caught up by this moment that all they can do is breathe and remind themselves that this is all part of a greater plan and that somehow, for some reason, they're on the right path. So they just stay close to the guide, they keep following, they keep moving forwards.
Perfect. Riv, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Yeah.
Are you last or are you...
I think I'm
pagan?
last. Oh,
right.
sorry.
So, yeah. Go ahead, guys.
I think the pagan is lagging a little bit behind the first two. They have used the light cantrip on their crosier.
Okay.
Not in a sense of thinking that this will increase the protection by any means, but it's starting to fade. Like, I'm not right next to it. So I need to see what's underneath my feet so I don't face plant in a swamp.
Perfect. What'd you get, Riv?
91.
91.
Hence why I immediately just go, "Ew, that's high."
It is high. This is actually a D&D thing. So on the long-term madness, you have lost your ability to speak. Have fun.
I will.
Have fun, Prophet.
Oh, I will.
Good.
The prophet at the back of the line is unnaturally silent, walking again, head down, scrunched back, weighed down by the world around them. Their lips are moving, though they are not audible. If you could hear the prophet, it is almost as if they are praying, "Rain falls slowly when you can't sleep in a thunderstorm. Rain falls slowly when you can't sleep in a thunderstorm. Thunderclaps sound more like applause when the person you need is there with you." Just trying to center themselves, their eyes flicking about between not only each gray half person, but especially between their party members.
As you all walk through this swamp with the guide, the serpent has asked for some insight. What's going on? Where are we? What is this place? And the guide, with a level of, they're very casual about things, in a way that was a little off-putting before the gate, but with now the amplified moaning and wailing and terribleness might be a little bit more upsetting. And they say, well, all right, so, okay, here's the deal. This is what is called the Dolores Kingdom. All these people, the Dolores people, they're different from you, because they're actually dead. They're fully dead. And they're going to where they're supposed to go, which is down there. And they're pointing down where you can kind of see, again, where things are starting to funnel into, it's all fanned out, and then they're all going into something of a it's bad. It's a bad place to be going. It's because they're forcing people into, it's bad. Trying to think of the right word for, I'm doing cattle call, which is the wrong word. All I can think of is cows, and that's accurate and bad. And so, but in order to get into actual hell, you have to get on the ferry with a ferryman. He's really unhappy to be doing his job, so we just have to sneak on and get through. No big deal. It's fine.
The Dolores Kingdom and the Dolores people. Where did that name come from, and why does the ferryman hate his job?
Are we cutting the
You
line?
two are not friends?
I don't know if you can tell. I'm here for a purpose. I died and I'm bad. So this is my punishment. Handling people like you is my punishment. So I don't love it. And anyway, I can only imagine he hates his job because he has to hear this for all eternity. And there's a lot of bargaining that happens.
If you didn't have to be doing this job. Oh, what? I'm sorry.
And the Dolores, I have no idea. I kind of don't care. Again, very flippant.
So are we cutting the line? Is that how we're getting past?
Technically, you're not in the line because you're not dead. So we're more like stowaways, maybe
Okay.
tourists.
Backdoor access, maybe.
My friend. If the prophet wasn't having a moment back there, phrasing would be their first statement to you.
The prophet, just from the back, if there was a third camera in front of all of us, guide, serpent, saint, pagan, all, just the audience would be able to see the prophet's head perk up over everybody. Huh? If they could join in, they would be right there. So,
You mentioned bargaining. There's a lot of bargaining here. What do the dead have to bargain with?
Nothing. So it never really works. So, but it's human nature.
Very fair. You've yet to tell us what exactly our job is here. I know that we are meant to go through all the levels of hell, but what is the job we have to do here?
Really, it's just getting on the boat. So, yeah. So, right now. So, I guess, yeah. What do you need? What do you want to know? Your job, like right now in this moment, or like on a cosmic level?
Well, you said that we had to do something here, and how is getting on a boat part of a job?
It's actually way more difficult than it should be. He's very big and very cranky. By the way, you all notice that the guide is fully walking on top of this swampy land and kind of not being affected while all of you are absolutely trudging as you are weighted down by the weight of your souls.
I think the prophet is kind of using their banner as like a walking stick almost, and kind of leaning on it to stay stable through the like swampy ground.
The prophet, no, the prophet is at the same time watching the saint trying to use their banneret. They briefly considered mischief, but decide against for the moment. They are consistently casting and recasting prestidigitation, trying to maintain some form of cleanliness, trying to get whatever muck and mire sticks to them off, as much as they are simultaneously uncomfortable around the constant sea of the dead, and also constantly uncomfortable sinking and being sucked into this non-solid ground. Just horrible.
I imagine the serpent is like still walking backwards, keeping his eyes on everyone. There's this feeling of, I imagine that everyone would see that while, yes, it's like sludging through mud, like that thick kind of mud where it's like, there doesn't seem to be, there's struggle with its movement, but it's like a comfortability of we've trudged through something like this liquid solid kind of state, as he's looking at the prophet, trying to figure out what is happening, looking at the saint, like kind of just trudging through as well, while also having this conversation with the guide and at the same time talking to the pagan. There's this sense of alertness, this sense of head on a swivel, kind of like an owl, like
You definitely notice that. So you're kind of keeping an eye on all of your party and the guide and taking that all in, and you are noticing that you are all getting some looks. You are being noticed by these multitude of people. But you do get the impression, all of you get the impression that while you are noticed, you are not important. All of these people have much bigger issues, um, and their suffering is paramount, and what they have going on is the most important thing ever. As you all go, is there anything else anybody wants to do as you walk closer and closer to this this river just grows vaster and vaster. The closer you get, the bigger it gets.
Can we, as we get closer to the river and as we get closer to the ferry, are we able to see the ferryman? Are we able to see the courier? Or are they hidden within the ship?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. You can, because the ferryman is gargantuan. You see rising above as you crest over a hill a massive being, again, who looks really annoyed, just really pissed. And you actually can see that as you're watching and getting closer, you see just all of a sudden this massive wave washing over a swath of the damned, of the Dolores people, and they are washed away screaming. And they are, there is absolutely no like empathy in this gargantuan's face. He is just trying to get a job done and just tired of basically little rodents crawling and scratching at his legs. And as you all notice him, I'm gonna need you all to roll another wisdom saving throw, DC 15.
That's cocked as hell.
Well, that's a 12.
That is a 19 plus 2, so 21.
Amazing.
Also a 21.
That is a 7.
Right. Kind of, I don't know if it's appropriate, kind of appropriate though. Pagan and Saint, you spend a hope point, and you feel terror just engulfing your body. And let's see here. Oh, that's no, so you don't spend a hope point. You are just terrified of this giant, fearsome semblance. This is Charon, the ferryman, of myth and legend. So those who succeeded, you become immune to the fearsome semblance. For those who failed, if you would like to spend a hope point, you can spend it to become immune, or else be terrified.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at my team, who did you say was... Would he see that the prophet and the pagan are starting to get affected?
So it's Saint and Pagan.
Saint and pagan.
This is gonna keep happening.
Oh, it's gonna happen forever. It's gonna be great. I love it. I would need you to roll perception, please.
Perception.
Because you're at the front of the line. So you, I guess as he does that, Pagan and Saint, how does this terror manifest?
I think for the pagan, it manifests almost like a panic attack, where they stop in their tracks and they start to do different grounding things, which seems to not really work in a place like this. You know, it's hard to identify different colors around you, different scents, different tastes. They even at one point dip their hand into the water below them and try and taste it to see if it's brackish or fresh, coming away with no taste, not even the murky taste of an actual swamp, I'm assuming. And they withdraw within themselves, thinking over and over and over again. It is what it is. It is meant to be this way. It is as nature and as the energies in the world intended. They keep trying to self-soothe over and over again.
And Taya? How's the saint doing?
So I think for the saint, rather than something as recognizable as like a panic attack, I think there's an element of like freezing. I don't think they necessarily stop moving, but they're so rigid. Like they're gripping their banner and their spear so that their hands are bloodless. And there's such a look of terror in their face that they're clenching their jaw to try and hold back. And I think it's not just the ferryman, it's been this whole slog through the mud, surrounded by these souls that I know I'm not supposed to help when I thought I was supposed to help. But now the way I live my life has been flipped completely on its head. And seeing the wave and the drowning and the screaming and nobody do anything about it and trying to trust and hold to this being part of the plan has just made them so pale and rigid, and they're shaking. And I think there's just this silent horror that is so visible through the way that they hold like every part of their body.
Can the serpent and I, we pick up on this, yeah?
So Blackwell
Can we pick up
rolled
on this?
15.
What was your perception? 15. Riv, you want to roll?
Yeah, that's
Perception.
cocked. God damn it. Okay.
On the clock.
Got on the cock. That's a 23.
Okay. Yeah, I think both of you, especially because you bookend these two members. So as you turn, Serpent, you turn and you see both of these people that you've been spending time with going internal and freezing and panicking. If you can't actually see the saint's eyes because they are always covered by a bandage, as basically the is being the visage of God's grace in their eyes, so they're always covered. But you get the impression that they would be wide with terror. Yeah, so that's what you guys see.
Could I?
Can, if I may, real quick, and I think we're leaning in the same direction, Blackwell. Can I spend a hope point on one of them?
That's what I was going to do.
I think then in this moment, I think the serpent and the prophet both see these two lovely young folks suffering, and I think we both have a moment together. The prophet places a hand on the shoulder of the saint.
There's a visible like flinch.
I would love to use a point of hope, if at all possible, to help them get through this.
I would like for you both to roll an intelligence check for Serpent and
Just a raw intelligence check.
raw intelligence check.
Okay, we can work with that. 15? Because I ain't got no intelligence.
16 plus 2, 18.
Okay. You with a 15 serpent, you of everybody have the serpent understands what letting go of hope means and what it can do here. So you get the impression that you could do it. So I will give you that with a 15. With it, you said 18.
Mm-hmm.
With an 18, I think what you get is that, again, you could spend hope. You also get the impression that the cost to yourselves would be much more dear than maybe helping them find the hope within themselves. So you could spend 3 hope to give a hope to one of your comrades.
I think the serpent would do that. He would, in a very Kingdom Hearts like moment, if you remember how opening Kingdom Hearts 1 goes, where Riku is standing behind that tidal wave and he just extends a hand towards the pagan as they see them kind of having this tense moment, and you would hear them say, "Eyes up, focus on what's ahead. We're here together."
Prophet, you can't share anything that you know because you can't talk.
I can't do it verbally.
Yeah. So no, but so do you want to spend 3 hope points to give a single to save your friend from spending a single hope point? Because that's all it would take. All that the pagan and saint have to do is spend a hope point. And they are free from the terror. And with an 18, you would have gotten that.
The prophet has felt the flinch of the saint and is going to try to even out with them, remove their hand and respect the moment of need. But they are going to try to get their attention. They physically cannot speak. However, they reach not one hand out, but both up towards their face, and have a moment of just like a moment of I know this is a lot. I know it's me. If you could see me smile, I know, but they reach both hands out, asking if they can touch the saint.
I think the saint initially, instinctively, there was that gut jerk back, and that's eased off a tiny bit when you remove your hand. And I think they stand there for a few moments and they're still locked in this terror. So they're not thinking clearly. And they're just looking at the mask that covers your face. And there's the instinct is to mistrust and to sort of, why now? What are you doing? I don't want to lean into what you're trying to sell me. But at the same time, there's this tiny pull there that they really want to ignore. But I think because they're in this terrified state, in this moment of weakness, they don't lean in to the touch, but they kind of visibly soften to it. There's an exhale kind of feeling, and they don't say anything. They don't make you pull back. There's just a moment where they sort of sigh and allow themselves to be in the moment with you.
I am going to spend those 3 hope points.
Nope, go ahead.
They reach out. They notice the soften. They take that as the moment. They nod to you. They place both hands at the sides of your jaw, and the frightening large deer skull closes in towards yours, and you just have a moment of forehead to forehead, a grounding moment of, I'm right here with you. This is a lot, but you are not alone. And it is just that solid moment of connection. You can almost peer through the eye holes of the skull of the deer. And you can almost see some semblance of face, of eye color, of brow shape, hidden by shadow and by skull. But they have this moment with you of, you are not alone. This is not a sale. This is not a trick. You are not alone. Yeah.
I think for the first time, the saint believes that this moment is not a trick. And I think purely from the fact that they're not pulling away, they're not recoiling, you can't see their eyes, but their face doesn't show signs of the normal searching for purpose and trying to read you, that there's just this presence. And they let that happen.
They give you a minute. They sit with you in that moment of connection. And they step up, pull away, and they nod, and they can't say a word, so they keep marching forward.
And Serpent, as you look to the pagan.
As you say that you've got me, is there a way for me to know what the cost of this move is?
I would like for you to roll. I could make an argument for insight or arcana, but it would be a disadvantage.
I figured it
Because
would
you're
be.
panicking. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be doing insight. That's a 19 total. 17.
I think you have a moment that you come out of it a little, just enough to see the intention of this being, that like it's a little bit like they're saving you back. You remember sitting by the side of a pond waiting for the serpent to come back from drowning, and you had that you didn't know what was going to happen, but you just had some faith, you had some hope. And now I think you can see that there is you see them wanting to return that, but you do know that there is going to be a cost.
I look up at him. Only if we can share the burden together. And I'd like to make an argument for both of us to spend 2 hope points.
Blackwell, if you are okay with that, I will allow that.
Yeah, I think the serpent will stand there with their hand still alofted. It's kind of face down, like palm faced up. That sense of the offer is there. All you have to do is just place your hand into theirs.
I reach up, and as all other grounding mechanisms have failed me, no sight, no sound, no smell, the only one that I have right now available to me is touch. And I reach up and put my hand in the serpent's, and I allow them to pull me up to standing.
I think once their hand connects with theirs, they kind of, like a snake, coil their fingers around their hand, pull them up, and they continue walking backwards, facing them. You can't see their eyes as they're all bandaged up. But there's that sense of, keep looking at me, focus on me. Yes, there's all this around us, but focus on me, focus on what's ahead.
I give the serpent a squeeze of reassurance, promising that I will be okay. At least for now, I will be okay. I have their back. And I will never stop waiting at that pond's edge for them to come back up.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Beautiful.
That was so good.
And pagan and saint, through these connections, you feel that terror of this unbelievably gargantuan being fade away and become manageable. You don't feel like you need to run away. You feel like you can get through, because maybe for the first time since you have been here, you actually believe you're not alone in this. And then the guide says, "Oh, you're all so adorable." Right. Are we done? We have to get, the only way through is on that ferry. Can we move on?
I'm Jaegering the serpent a little bit here. This is going to be funny. I feel like at this moment, the serpent would, again, kind of owl head, like not full 180 degree, because I don't think we could do that, but kind of look over their shoulder and say, "Would you like to hold hands as well? When was the last time you were comforted? If that is something that you need or want."
Are you trying to get something out of this? Are you trying to make a connection? Or are you just being a smartass? Which I'm great with either one.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Ooh, hold on. Let me.
One has a roll and one doesn't.
let me flip a coin here. I got my D2. If it's the cat head, it's me being a smartass. If it's not, it's him, trying to make a connection. He's trying to make a connection.
Amazing.
Damn.
Amazing.
All right.
Roll me
Fuck
roll me persuasion.
Persuasion? Oh,
Yeah.
I think we got that. Oh, we have something in that.
I mean, you can be a smartass and make a connection. It can be both, but
14 plus 4, so 18?
Ooh.
you say that, and there is a bit of a, like, they've had a little bit of a smirk for the entire time that they've been with you. They've been very cavalier, and they are like, they've made jokes the whole way. They've been really kind of shitty about it and throwing things away. And you say that, and that kind of malicious smirk turns into the beginning of a grin and a laugh as the guide just, do you hold your hand out to this person?
Not yet. I think they're waiting to see what they say or do.
The guide chuckles, like they want to let go of more, but this isn't the right time for perhaps. And they just shake their head and go, It's been a while, but
Are you
we have to get on that
lonely?
boat.
Are you
Look-
lonely? And how long
Always.
have you been lonely?
I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I've been here. None of us do.
I think that's when the serpent would extend his hand. Again, walking backwards while holding the pagan's hand.
As this is
Um,
all happening, the prophet is going to cast minor illusion and make it sound like the guide just farted really loud. Just to undercut the moment, but also to have a moment of, you're going to be a smart ass with us while we're having legitimate connection. I'm going to be a smart ass with you while you're having legitimate connection.
I'm sorry. Is that thaumaturgy, my friend? My
No, that's-
illusion's an image.
No, minor illusion. As I'm reading it, you create a sound or an image.
There you go. Okay, fine. Yeah,
and
you
so-
good. Everyone, if you want, there's a tiny sound of a fart underneath the wailing of dead people,
Just somewhere, just
which is real funny.
audible.
Look, there isn't any like actual smells here, but that sounded like it probably smelled really bad.
I mean, how can you tell? Really, this is swampy. He
It's swamp ass, my friend.
swamp ass
It's like a
to
This is what
the
you get, asshole. Anyway,
listen.
can be a dick about us having some moments. I'm gonna be a dick about you in your
It's
moment.
so cute. It's so cute. I love it when they're fresh. Anyway, the guide reaches out and takes your hand, serpent, in more of a like, not like a handshake, like not to hold hands, not to have, but as a moment of connection, to say, yes, I'm meeting you at your level. This is all in good faith. Like, I'm teasing, like, this is a teasing thing, and I can probably take down the bite out of my jokes at this point. So you get that impression that there is a softening and a more playfulness when it comes to the guide.
think
Yeah.
as they feel their hand meet theirs, and there's that connection, that understanding, the serpent's going to cock his head and simply say, do you need help? Would you like help?
Roll insight. This is a high DC.
Okay. Don't fail me now. Okay. 16 plus 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23.
You get a glimmer. You see in this being's eyes that you asking that hit something. They don't say anything, but you get the impression that there is something you can help with. And yeah, I think that's what you get. You get, they're like, there is something else. There is something that they need you for. This isn't just their job. This isn't penance. This isn't how they get redemption. This is not their punishment. This is something that they are doing with a purpose. But all joking aside, we have to convince him to let us on that boat. So none of you are afraid of past normal rational fear of a giant gargantuan demon being. But how would you all like to proceed?
I think the saint, before we get any closer, is going to stop and I think while the serpent and the guide were talking, they were sort of paying attention to that, but mostly I think they were keeping pace with the prophet and sort of silently processing what had just happened. But now, they're back in the present and there's an urgency and there's a job to do. So I think they stop and they kind of turn to the rest of the group and just, we should act as a team here. I think we all need to be on the same page.
The prophet cannot speak. I hope that doesn't last too long. But
It's a short rest, bud.
it's a short rest. You're right. Hopefully we get to
So
nap on
hey,
the boat.
if y'all wanna, I will say, so short rest rules. If you guys want to sit down here in a swamp for an hour,
For an hour? With my
For an
ass in
hour.
the swamp?
and then the prophet can speak again.
But how much do
Or
they
not.
want that? Anyway.
But how much
um,
does the prophet want to speak? Yes.
Very bad. And so the prophet, similarly, noticing the saint staying at pace, is very specifically, again, with no further physical touch, noticing the sort of immediate drawback is like in lockstep with the saint, is in pace, in step, and is, as you suggest, the team notion is in full deference to you. Skull, if it could make eye contact, full eye contact. They are going to, fuck it, I have cantrips. I can speak kind of. I think I'm gonna use prestidigitation again as a way to just have a moment of like using, or actually no, fuck it, I don't need spells. They're going to carve into the swampy floor with their sword. Yes, community, we need to rely on each other in this moment. Are we trying to convince Karen? Did we get the name? Are we trying to convince the ferryman, or are we trying to sneak past the ferryman?
Are you writing all of this in swamp mud?
Yeah, basically just really fast. Just
Please roll me a dexterity or sleight of hand.
let's see. Both are the same. So fuck it, call it sleight of hand. Not bad. 15.
15. Okay. Everybody else who wants to attempt to read it, go ahead and
Roll.
roll me. We also lost our saint for a second, but that's fine. So everyone else, if you want to roll, let's do oh god, what roll for reading? I don't know.
Survival?
Investigation.
Raw intelligence.
Yeah.
Raw. I feel like it would be like an insight because it's the scrawlings of a madman and disappearing ink, basically.
I can make an argument for insight. I can make it. So, Taya, we're trying to read the
I
scrawling.
disappeared for a second. What?
Yeah, the saint just goes, nope.
Did you write all of that in the mud?
Yeah, I wrote all of
100%.
that in the swamp.
Okay.
With a
Okay.
15%, 15 on the sleight of hand, which was not bad. But so insight, intelligence, just like investigation.
I'm gonna take that as an insight to make that a 10.
Whoa.
Make that straight 10 a 10 plus 6 to a 16.
I just got a nat 20. Something's happened and I now understand the prophet. Something's locked in. Oh god.
I just got a 12. I got a 12. I'm like,
oh god.
I got a couple words, but not all of them. They disappeared.
You kind of think the prophet might be writing in like a strange, like illuminated script cursive or something. It's very fancy. You're like, I don't know.
Look, I've read a lot of things with a lot of weird religions and things like that. I have not read this religion's things. I don't know what it is.
Upon hearing you refer to me as a religion, there's a momentary just pullback. They can't speak, but they can sigh. They just have a moment there.
So in like what a mood for Saint and Prophet. The Saint just is picking up what the Prophet is literally
Why do they
putting
see my
down
mind?
into the mud. and is like I think he said Timmy's in the well. Like it's like you
Huh?
speak dog at this
What's
point.
that,
like
Jeff? What's that? What's that
We
last
actually merged our minds in that
Yeah,
moment.
we
and
had a
now
That
I
was-
can hear
yeah,
your
the brain
thoughts.
connection.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So,
I think
yeah.
the Saint
Sorry.
is confused. Just because until this point we'd sort of been in this weird shift of feeling together, and the Saint has been very silent for most of this journey because of how they've been processing and what they've been feeling. And they sort of, I think, presumed that maybe that was the same for the Prophet. And this is the first time they've realized, oh, wait, no, you haven't said anything or made any of your smart comments or anything this whole time. And actually that is weird. And they kind of look at the writing and they will read it out loud to translate so that the others can fully understand what's been said. And there's just a look of confusion towards the Prophet, and you can't speak right now.
It is at that point the Prophet slowly nods, and you notice if you look back down at the lettering or even at their sword in their hands, they are shaking.
The Saint, I think, is going to look to the guide and just ask, does that happen? Is this a normal response?
Honestly, more often than not, I'm really surprised that they were the only one that was affected. Walking through that gate is extremely oppressive, and it's kind of a lot. So they had that little worrying moment about falling down a cliff earlier. So I think it's been a bad day for the Prophet. Days have no meaning. Time has no meaning. But no, yeah, it's normal. Manifests differently for everybody.
And the Saint, there's a pull of, they're not quite done with that, but they turn back to the writing in the mud and sort of make themselves focus back on the situation at hand. Well, those are our two options, I suppose. We try and convince our way on, or we are sneaking, as you first suggested. Which do you suppose is likely to have the best outcome?
I've never really seen anybody be very successful with sneaking.
I have a brief question. Yeah. How wise do you think this Chiron is?
He's been around since, I think, probably the invention of this place. So pretty wise.
Well, everybody has a bad day eventually. You think maybe we could just charm him? And the pagan is thinking specifically of a charm person spell that they have prepared. Coincidentally, actually.
Coincidentally. I think that there is it's everything is worth a shot. But
as a saint or a prophet of another age and another era that I hear echoes of, You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly. I think convincing him, maybe you guys have some color to your cheeks or deer skull, so maybe maybe, and variety is the spice of on life, so maybe he'll be interested.
Shoot or shoot.
So do you all walk up to this gargantuan being holding a ferryman's pole and kind of nudging if a giant tree can nudge a person, it is just kind of kicking people onto the ferry or away, or these things looking very put upon and harried.
No matter what happens, which way if the pagan is up towards the front, because the prophet, despite their want, cannot speak, I'm going to cast guidance on the pagan and just give them a little bit of a push.
Amazing. I would also give you guys above table. I would, because these are new characters for all of our players here. I would be happy to let you guys talk above table to see who's better at persuasion, intimidation, whatever you would like to do. So above table, if you guys want to talk about that, feel free. Oh yeah, we make a good point, Riv. What has verbal components?
Yeah, we do.
Mm.
Yeah, and it is verbal somatic.
Well,
All right, never mind.
And I'll above table remind you, well, let you know that it wouldn't necessarily help anyways because it's guidance and this is a saving throw that I would be casting for.
That's very true, but I just really, the thought in my mind, sorry, I'm trying to get my hair to behave for 2 moments. The thought in my brain was, in the case of, if we're not going to go with the charm person way, if we're going to try to just straight convince and just straight up utilize our own skills, go and be with God, for lack of a better phrase. Be with Satan.
Go and be with Prophet?
Go and be with me, child. And so, but yeah, no, guidance does have verbal components, and we fucked around and had a funny moment with minor illusion and with prestidigitation. Both probably also have verbal components, so I'm just not. So the prophet instead is going to give you a hearty pat on the back and a moment of "I believe in you, bud."
I will definitely say that I like the serpent has a proficiency in persuasion. He can the help action's a thing, right? Where I can give advantage to someone.
Absolutely.
And I also have hypnotic gaze. So I have those 2 things, well, 3 things. If someone feels as though they have a strong argument, or if need be, I could go talk to them.
The prophet, would they be able to speak, are very charismatic, whether that be persuasion or intimidation. In fact, especially intimidation. I don't think that's going to be our way in right now, because small ant to giant ferryman, I feel like we're not going to be that intimidating. What is a god to a non-believer? All that loveliness. And so, yeah, but in any other situation, unless we want to like hang out for an hour, I am slightly more bereft of options.
I am not charismatic. I do not do well with my words. The above table, everything charisma-wise is -1.
So the saint is Rizzy.
Oh, yeah.
The saint has some riz.
Hell yeah. We love it.
So do we send our 2 most rizziest riz people up there and somehow, some form of way, convince a godlike looking being, hey, let us on the boat for free. We belong here. I'm down for it. I'm here to ball.
Oh, actually, speaking of, let us on the boat for free. The prophet is going to check their perhaps non-existent pockets. I know we don't have much in terms of inventory, but the prophet, can I think back into my own study? Can I search for gold coins? In my pocket, on my person, or just, among us? Because
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, you got to pay the toll to ride the ferry.
Yes, you have that thought. And as you kind of pat yourself down, you do not have anything on your being. Nothing material actually came with you. The only items you have, your infernal emblems, arrived with you as you woke up in hell. So everything is a semblance. Nothing is real. So you don't have physical gold coins, no.
Sick.
Yeah.
We just have our words.
Prophet, I will say though, if you want to roll a history check, you canonically have knowledge of Dante's Inferno.
I do. I would love to do so. My history isn't great, but let's
Thanks.
see.
Shout out to Julia in the chat for
Ooh.
rolling good on that history check.
Goddamn right. That's a 15 plus 2, so 17.
You do get the impression as you think back on it, it's less Greek. So the coin in Hades for the ferryman is kind of metaphorical. So you having physical gold coins isn't going to be the hindrance of getting on the boat.
Intéressant. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So as the serpent and saint walk up with the guide behind you, you have this giant. You're at the feet of this giant who glances down at you, goes, ugh, and then goes back to sorting through the lost souls, either pushing them away or onto the ferry.
I think the saint has approached with a very, not a relaxed stance, but they've sort of, the way they're holding their banner and their shield is very much not intimidating, not to attack. But they are in this moment, I think, calling back to moments from their life where they've had to just keep their head high and, bring a sense of calm to a situation. And they'll just very calmly call out, "A moment of your time, ferryman."
He pauses and looks down at you both. A moment is all you will get.
We seek passage.
No. And goes back to sorting.
Might I ask why? And all of this still very non-confrontational from the saint.
Look around you. You do not belong here. This is for the dead. You are very much alive. Why would I let you on?
If we don't belong here, how could we be here in the first place? Where else are we supposed to go?
Back to where you came from.
It's not possible. We have to move forward.
God. Another one of those fucking journeymen. No, you shall not board.
We had trouble with journeymen before.
A few, yes.
Tell me about that. What has happened? What has caused you such great distress with them? What have they done to you? When was the last time someone asked how you were doing?
I love this. The serpent is beautiful. Like, are you okay? Are you good? Hi, ancient being.
Mental health, my friend.
Super important, guys. He grumbles, and again, he's so large that it's like thunder rumbling out, and he just goes, "They are flies in my ears and in my eyes. They are frustrating and unnecessary. You do not belong here. You do not belong in hell. I am sorry that you are here. Go back the way you came. You are not getting on my boat."
Surely there is something that we can do that will allow us to commandeer this vessel. Surely there is something that you want. I know a creature or being such as yourself. There has to be something. A favor for a favor. A cost for a ride. What can we do for you? How can we help you? While yes, we may not belong here, how can we serve you in this moment, though?
In this moment of consideration as well, while the serpent is with Karen, thinking back into the Inferno, if I may, the prophet is going to go up behind the saint. Though they cannot speak, they are going to begin motioning, and they are going to... They motion towards the saint's banneret, to their halo. They are trying to say Dante himself was let through on grounds of a divine mission. That whether or not you get that, I don't know. But they are trying to make displays of your own divinity, of their own divinity, pointing towards the scepter, the skull, an imaginary halo that hangs behind their head. Just trying to get that image in.
Listen, I never doubted Riv in a second, man. Taya, go ahead and roll insight with advantage because you have made that connection with Prophet.
Nice. Oh god. At what cost?
Listen, it's hot.
I got another natural 20.
Fuck
What
yeah, you
the
got it.
fuck
You
is
got it.
this?
You got it. You got it. Got it.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
I don't know what has happened.
Yes.
I will let that carry. You understand, like you're once again picking up what the prophet is putting down. There is so much in the air here.
If you could see the prophet, if you could see the prophet's eyes, they would wink at you.
Creepy deer skull winking. We love it. So with that knowledge, if I will say so, Blackwell and Taya, you absolutely. I will tell you, Blackwell said exactly the right thing. So, if one of you wants to make a persuasion roll, it will be at advantage. And that nat 20 and that question has lowered the DC.
You want to do it?
I feel like I'm rolling good, and I feel like it's also once the saint has registered what it is that the prophet is trying to say to them, there's a moment of almost resentment that it came from them. There's still this layer of resistance because I think the reason the saint didn't immediately, their immediate response wasn't to come in with the grace of God and their own divine power, because they're still very much working out what the response to that is in a place like this. But with the prompt coming externally and from somebody who has had the most opposing views to their own God, that's the confirmation they need to just the way that they're holding themselves and their banner and their head ringed by this golden light. It shifts, and it's more of a there's more sort of self-awareness of that. And I'm gonna make my roll
with advantage.
Okay, that's a 19 plus 4, so 23.
Beautiful. Charon looks between you both. The look of frustration, still frustrated, still there, but there is that look of, payment, you say? I think we have something that we can work out. And this is where we're going to take a break, and we'll find out what that deal is here. We'll see you guys back here in 10 minutes. Amazing job, guys. We'll see you back here in 10.
Whoa.
Yay! And welcome back, everybody. You'll notice we have a slightly different background because David, thank you, David, 100% said, swamp, you say? Hell swamp? Let me make a background. So thanks, David. How's everyone doing? Having a good time? Having a good time in hell? We're making connections. It's so fun.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic.
That's how we're getting through it, y'all. That's how it's happening.
It is the friends you
I'm
made
having
along the way.
I'm having a weird time with my narrative thematic foil, and it's a lot.
It's definitely not purposeful. Yay!
Setting the groundwork now. And if
Set it up.
betrayal happens,
Hey,
oh, that's even juicier.
I said nothing of betrayal. I know nothing of betrayal. I am, in fact, in all honesty, I mean, I've been trying to be as sincere as possible in this moment as the prophet. These are some
And
really
that's worse.
vulnerable moments. That's worse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it's worse.
We love it.
So good,
We
though.
love
It's
it.
so good.
Gaslight,
So good.
gatekeep, girl boss. Let's go. As you all, as the saint and the serpent stand at the foot of this gargantuan ferryman, Charon has said, there might be something you can do to help me. There is, what is the term? An indifferent angel who has taken control of a temple. It's ruins. And in that temple, they have, well, they're gathering an army of the damned. So they've trapped a bunch of souls, and it is my job to get these souls from this shitty shore to that one. And it's not working, and it's making my already very frustrating job that much more frustrating. So an argument could be made. If you could take care of that problem, then I could see fit to allow you passage on my boat.
Can you tell us more about this angel? Who they are? How did they fall? How did they get hold of the souls?
Oh, it's not difficult to get a hold of the souls. They just cornered them. They're all very, very easy to pin down. And this angel lost its name when it fell. It was just one of the multitude who didn't fall on purpose. So they're not one of us. But they didn't really follow the rules of heaven either. So here they are stuck. Yes, Moose.
This is Willow.
I was gonna say
This
is
that's
another
a
cat.
different cat.
Whoa!
That's a different
Surprise.
cat. Yeah,
Guys,
folks.
it's Willow. It's another cat. Sorry.
Uh-oh, you got double catted.
Moose.
Alright.
Double cat.
Yeah, Willow will camp out on my lap for most of this, most of the game. Moose will just be a menace and slam the door shut in the middle of things. It's fine.
So it's not a ghost when it happens. It's just Moose. Okay.
It's a moose.
It's a moose.
Moose slamming doors. We love it.
Moose in a china
sorry.
shop.
We can't. We have to stop everything for the cats. We love them so much. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I literally stopped everything to shout out your cat because the chat would not forgive me. I know the audience. Anyway,
I would like to point out we had like at least 12.5 comments of just people freaking out about Moose and Willow.
That's very fair. Yes.
Yeah.
They have their moments. But yeah, just for posterity's sake, most of the time Willow will be camped out on my lap. When in doubt, she's there.
Hey guys, stick around for 5 more sessions of Canto to see all the cats. We love them.
Meow.
Meow.
Anyways, though,
So this angel it's lost its name. It is really just a thorn in my side, and I can't leave here. I do still have to do my job.
Hmm.
So again, take it or leave it. If you want to go and give it a try, then feel free.
The prophet is going to, make their way to be. They were behind the saint. They're going to be behind the saint and still next to everybody, but they're just gonna, as they cannot speak, begin pointing across the coastline as a question of where are we going.
He will motion the away from the river, but there's no directions. There's no north, south, east, west. Fun fact, guys, hell is a circle and a funnel. So it is curving past them. So as you guys had walked up, it is continuing on past to into the swamp, basically.
And when we find this angel, do you intend for us to talk to them or dispatch them?
Honestly, I don't give a shit. As long as I can get my souls and do my job, I don't really care what happens to a fallen angel.
Hmm.
The prophet is going to have a moment upon the words dispatch and is enjoying the image too much, but is still cockeyed over towards the serpent in a moment of, do you really think we can kill an Abrahamic angel? Is that the plan?
Do I roll something to see if I understand that, like that kind of look?
Insight.
That was yeah, I'm physically incapable of speaking. Please do.
You do not get advantage because you do not have a weird psychic romantic relationship. I don't know. You didn't touch foreheads with a deer head, so
This is true. You did not brain meld with me.
12
you-
plus 6, so 18.
you get okay with that. With an 18, you do kind of get this like, which is weird because a deer skull doesn't have eyebrows. And it's immovable. So yeah, you get this through body language. Again, Riv, just your physical, your interpretive dancing is on point. You do get an impression of like, are you okay? I mean, so you get some incredulousness coming from the prophet. Yes.
I think the serpent sees that, takes note of it, and it's just like, again, can't see their face, but they just take note of it, and it's like, okay, let's go find ourselves an angel. Will you be joining us? And he says this they say this directly to the guide.
No fucking way. Absolutely not. If you want to go off into the swamp, you are free to go. Absolutely. I will wait right here. But I'll do you a favor. I will plant this torch right here. And they move along and just bury it into the shore of the river. And when you die, you'll come back here. Sound good?
Choosing to be lonely, choosing to be alone. I can understand that. If you wish to stay here with, they look up to the giant, again, astrological being. If you would like to stay here with them, by all means, I cannot force you to come with us. I would hate to be alone by myself, though. They start walking off after saying that.
I think the saint is going to sort of like incline their head in a slight just emotion that they've been understood and heard, and we'll return as we are, and we'll follow after.
Perfect. Pagan?
Do we have to actually kill them, or can we just tell them to move?
You get the impression from the booming voice of the ferryman that he doesn't rightly care, as long as the souls are freed. However you dispatch them, through damage or not, is up to you.
Well,
What-
I mean, it's not the soul's fault that they're stuck there, so we should really... I feel like it's fair to do something.
I agree, it's the right thing to do. If they're there, they can't progress on with where they need to be. So, would I know anything about, sort of, with my knowledge of angels, is there anything I could glean from like who this might have been, or any like powers they might have, like how or why they might be keeping the souls there?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a religion check.
Okay, that's 13 plus 3, 16.
Okay. So, what you know, just from your religious service and upbringing, is that an indifferent angel is what this is called, and they literally took a stance of non-involvement in the battle between heaven and hell, between Lucifer, the fallen, and God. So these are the ones who sat on the fence, and God said, didn't side with me. And then Lucifer said, you think you're going to get anything from me? Absolutely not. So they are stuck. And I will say, guys, now, so this is technically the anti-inferno. Limbo is the first level of hell. So right now, you are in the in-between places, like the antechamber of Inferno. So this is truly kind of the place where people are trapped here. So the yeah, so that's what you know. That's what you know about indifferent angels. They didn't want to join the fight. They are, so there's probably a little bit of bitterness on both sides of like, I just wanted to stay out of it, and now I'm being punished. I will say that, let's see, I'm looking at their stuff. They're strong. They are angels. They are angelic. So they're going to be able to heal. They're going to they have charm. They've got some resistances and things like that. So while they didn't want to choose violence or choose a side, they are very tough. So
Okay.
They also have pretty decent wisdom and charisma.
As we all start making our way towards the Lost Temple, to say it in a roundabout way, about how long does it take to get to this temple? And is it perhaps an hour? And could we perhaps qualify that as a short rest and continue movement?
My darling, I will fall into the rules of you must actually be resting.
True enough.
Do we just carry the prophet then so that they can rest?
I would enjoy that. The
Yeah,
I
prophet
ain't got the strength for that.
neither does the prophet. And so the prophet upon us, let's say maybe we are out of earshot. out of eye line with Karen, with the guide, with the sort of swaths of lost souls along the bank of the river. They're going to try to like motion for / ask non-verbally for a moment's rest. If the party's up for it. To take some time, plan, and also maybe hopefully speak again.
I think you all can see this, especially because it's been voiced by the saint that the prophet cannot speak. And I think again, you've had enough nat 20s, Taya, that I will absolutely give you just for free.
Psychic bomb.
You saw them shaking. You saw that you did see that this was something, an element of this wasn't like a magical effect. This is just being overwhelmed. So that you do get the impression that a rest would probably do some good to help shake this. So up to you guys if you want to take an hour, take a short rest. And that way, I mean, I don't know no one's used any of their stuff, but typical short rest rules for D&D. So whatever you want to get back.
I think the saint, as if it's like they'll acknowledge the prophet, but when they speak, it's as if it's coming from them completely and is not to do with that. We'll just say, I do think it wise, perhaps, to take a moment to regroup if we are facing an angel in whatever capacity. And I won't lie, I do not intend to fight unless we have to. I do think it probably for the best that we take a moment to prepare.
I agree. I think that if we were to just run into it, there's a good chance we would all be faced with more terrors than positive lights, you know? We should have an idea of what we need to do.
Amazing. So you all find a place. Guess what? It is all equally bad. There is no like great place to sit in this wormy, disgusting swamp. But you settle in for an hour. Is there anything, as you are all sitting, is there anything that you would like to glean or try to do with this time of sitting?
Upon the return of the prophet's voice, whenever that comes, however long into the rest it takes, it's going to be halting in the way of coming back, even from a moment of selective mutism. The voice cracks. So, moving forward, are we at... I agree with the saint and the pagan, really all of us, to go in with the attempt of killing an angelic being sounds a bit rough. Do we feel comfortable? I have some semblance of an idea once we get towards the temple, whatever that might be. But I am... How do I put this correctly? I don't really quite trust Karen as far as I can throw him. This feels like a fool's errand to send a few lost souls upon. I am concerned.
Did he also not say that we were not the first lost souls that he'd encountered?
Well, Virgil, Dante, Alighieri.
Whatever came of them is my question. Were they all led as sheep to the slaughter on another one of his tasks?
Eli, if I may, using my own knowledge of the Inferno.
Yeah.
Saying out loud what I mimed and interpretively danced to the saint. Dante himself was allowed passage through hell because he was divinely gifted. He had a task given to him by God. Now, I have several feelings about that God, about that Dante, about that mission to find his Beatrice, to find his true, pure spirit of love. But he was allowed through with little harm. Others before him, I have no idea. Dante Alighieri just wrote it down, and I thought it was a work of fiction until, well, we all landed in the shit, and now we're shoveling through it. Maybe. I don't think convincing an angel would be smart. However, I know I am at least somewhat dexterous. I have a feeling the serpent might be excellently skilled when it comes to finding ways into places they shouldn't be. Maybe if we all walk up with a certain air, have one or two of us round another side, freeing whatever is available. And once the lost souls of the damned are free to be damned once again by an unfair and unjust God, then we all run. Maybe, just to throw an idea out.
It's not a terrible plan, not a terrible idea. The idea is not to go in blades drawn. We gather information. We try to learn who and what they are. Well, we know they are an angel. How they act, how they operate, what are they doing down here? How do they move? What makes them tick? We converse with them. We commune with them. If we're able to barter some kind of agreement, some kind of deal, some form of understanding to release the souls without any kind of violence, then that's great. Violence, however, should be in the back of our minds as a, if all else fails and our backs are against the wall.
It's something funny.
Yeah, it is. Your God believes that, I'm sorry. Let me be kind. My God does not have such violent soldiers. And it is funny to think that I am confronted in my own beliefs by walking through a hell that I once believed I would happily jaunt my way into, knowing what I taught, sowed, believed my entire life, lived my entire life. And now I am further confronted in my religion by the specter of the Archangel Michael. How interesting.
Interesting, perhaps. Not funny.
This must be a revelation for you then.
Nah.
a way to come to terms with things that you believe, things that you couldn't believe, things that were hard to construct into your mind. I hope that there's some form of solace in this information that you're finding and gathering. I hope it brings you peace. I hope it brings you grounding. And if not, I hope that you find another way. And if you're unable to, you will find it.
Serpent. I appreciate that. The way that I have found is, well, actually, the saint knows my way. Funny enough, I shared my way with them just moments ago. A grounding moment, a connection, that tie, that shall ground me through this, as it did the saint momentarily, as it has me to be able to speak once again.
Remember, we're not supposed to be here. But while we're here, let's try to, I want to say get along, but I know I would be asking for a lot.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I am. Funny enough, I feel more connected to all of you now than I have in days, weeks, months, years, seconds. How long have we been here? What is time? Especially here. Pagan. Not to derail us too far.
Did you want to hear about my religion is for the first time out of this whole thing? I mean, if you're all going to go on your own sanctimonious bullshit. Or can we focus up and just deal with the problem in front of us?
I was going to ask if you had any sort of ideas or thoughts in terms of facing off with an angel, but also, sure, if you want to talk about your own belief system, I'm all ears.
We'll learn plenty about my own story as we go through all of this, I'm sure. Seeing as how I know where I land in hell. In this version of hell, at least. And it's coming up quite soon. I think we focus on what is in front of us and less on the pedantry.
Sorry,
No. That being said, Prophet, I appreciate what you've been saying because you're not wrong. You're not wrong that you have a different religion. You have your own beliefs. And this is not a place that is necessarily open to different systems, in a way.
Not at all, in fact. And it is quite frustrating, isn't it?
Profoundly. Profoundly. I keep slipping in the accent and it drives me a little up the wall. I slip into more of like a Scottish thing and it's just like not working. But I'm trying. It works. Cool.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think that the only option we have, I don't know much about these beings beyond what the saint has explained of angels and what Karen just told us. But I do not think that we can fight.
No.
I think fighting, while it has its place, will likely just end with us at the bottom.
There is something that I have in my back pocket. Two somethings that I have in my back pocket in case things go south. I've relied too much on my magic already today. I got too frustrated with it not being able to speak. But I have a few things that I could do. Either one to bolster one of us while we walk into what is objectively the worst trap we could walk into. And a last resort. And a real Hail Mary moment. Pardon my French, Saint. A real hell or high water.
Are you going to elaborate, or are you going to stand here and sound mysterious?
I'm going to cast command sit on the Saint.
Hell yeah.
So you
All right.
are going
Do
to
I
be
roll?
making a wisdom save against my
Mhm.
spell save DC.
PvP.
Okay.
PvP.
19.
Yeah, you make it.
But you
Do I
feel
feel
you feel it. You feel that like push. It's almost like a hand on your sternum of just like sit, like, and you shake it off. But yeah, you feel it.
Don't do that again.
I didn't want to. You taunted me. But yes, I will elaborate, and I have elaborated, I think. I have something that can, at the very least, distract. If it works, then it stops them for a moment. If it doesn't, fuck. But then, at the very least, they know the fucker in the shiny hat is a person that's trying to be a nuisance. And that way focus comes onto me while lost souls go running.
So it sounds like we
Maybe.
need you. It sounds like, honestly, we need the prophet and the saint to be the ones distracting the angels, for lack of a better word.
Pagan and Serpent, do you feel comfortable finding... I mean, all that this has been described as is a temple. Who even knows if there's a back door? But if there is a way...
I'm sure one of us can find it.
Sorry.
No, I knew exactly where your head was, and I was like, I'm gonna make the joke.
I couldn't get there the first time, but I will the second. Anyway.
There you go. I think I can't speak for the serpent, and they seem temporarily indisposed.
Slightly preoccupied.
Just thinking about drowning themselves in a pond for
not again.
Pagan like puts their hand on the serpent's shoulder and just goes, "It's okay to talk about your feelings, buddy. You've been asking everyone else to talk about them recently. I'm here for you."
Yes.
God, it's just so shiny.
Bruno reverse.
Sometimes the therapist also needs to go to therapy.
I know there's a whole body of water right there, but we should not go for a repeat.
No.
I will also say above table that as a reminder, well, first off, the guide did say that they planted the torch, and that is the respawn point. So if you die, you go back to the torch.
Yeah.
You with minus a hope point.
I forgot he was even there. I completely forgot about the guy.
I assume you guys walked. Like, you guys got out of earshot. So
I
assume you guys went a little bit of a ways and kind of found a place. I
completely forgot about him.
Yeah, he sucks, so it's fine. So there's that. Also, before, there's a thing that you guys are gonna have to do, which you all haven't had to deal with. But there is a rule of constant decline in Dante's Inferno. The only way out is through, and whenever you go the wrong way, you have to roll for it. Otherwise, you suffer a point of exhaustion. So before we do that, Serpent, is there anything that you would like to look at, add, anything that you want to do here while everyone's sitting and you've been listening to the prophet be just the pettiest bitch, and they can talk now and have been like very derisively snorting at people for
It seems like they're overcompensating for something.
I
Mind if I
have
put
been
my
able
finger on
to
it?
talk for 2 hours. I feel I am deserved a little bit of pettiness in this moment.
Yes,
That must
and
have been a
forced
lifetime
silence
for
must
you.
have been the worst hell anyone could cook up for you.
listen, I can't, I have to share. Thanks, Lex.
Oh yeah.
I am one who likes to talk. I can't help it. Anyway.
I think the serpent sees this conversation going around. I think he sees what the prophet's doing, how they're responding to everyone. I think the serpent looks at both the pagan and the saint and just says, let's go talk to an angel. Let's see what we can learn. And he turns to the prophet, I'm glad that you're able to speak. Maybe we can put your mouth to some form of use. Maybe your gift of gab can be useful towards this being that once upon a time ago, or maybe even still present, or maybe even in the near future or distant past, you would have been communing with. For now, we have an objective, as the pagan said. We work together. Like it or not, differences, similarities. We're in this trip together.
You are hilariously on point. Exactly, yes. Let's go talk to an angel.
Amazing. And as you guys gather your emblems and start heading in the direction, first and foremost, yes, I will need all of you to roll a Constitution saving throw. 12.
Oh,
That's fine. That's so fine. That's so doable.
I
Let's
rolled a
go.
12, so I got 13.
Perfect.
I got a 10 plus 2, so 12.
I rolled
I
a
just
14.
barely made it. Yeah, I got a 13.
So 16. We're set.
So, yes, so three of you, like you guys feel, all of you feel the wrongness. Again, it's a little bit like when you hold magnets towards each other, but reversed. So you can feel that physical push that you're pushing against going that direction, but you manage to push through with no exhaustion. So, we're going to be making perception checks to see if you're going the right way. Let's see. I can make an argument for. I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want it to be a group check, or do you want it to be one person and I will let somebody give advantage?
Group check. Group check. Group
We're,
check.
we're a team now. That's what I feel like the theme is. We're a team, like it or not.
Yeah. I'm
Gotta
down for a
rely
group
on
check.
each other.
We're
Awesome.
all in this
See how bad it is.
together.
Can I add something really cute, though, real quick?
Yes.
I think as we're all about to get back up, I think Serpent's the first one to like stand, and he again offers his hand out to the pagan if they need help up. Still that like palm upward motion.
Pagan doesn't need a hand up, but gives one, takes it anyways. Puts their hand in the serpent's and again gives that reassuring squeeze that you felt before. Let's go get these souls out of whatever cage they're stuck in.
The prophet, seeing this, is going to look over to the saint. Stand, they're not going to reach out as, again, they remember the initial reaction to physical touch. But they are just going to lower their head slightly. In all seriousness, are you all right?
I'm fine. I think we're doing something good here. I think we're doing something right. I'm fine. And the saint will stand and very pointedly just like walk past you.
The prophet will let you walk past.
Mhm.
And they will just nod quietly. Okay. As long as you say so. And off we go.
I am also about to give all of you guys some bad news. As you have departed from the divine torch, all of these perception checks are at disadvantage.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I got a nat 20.
Yeah.
I got a
No!
14, make it a 19.
No!
God damn it, no.
Hate it here.
Tell.
Oh, I rolled like shit on both of them anyways. So you said perception?
Yeah.
My worst one is a 10.
Okay.
Yeah, 11.
My worst is a 16.
Okay.
So not
There's no
terrible.
way I can send a photo on here, is there?
Did you get a
Yeah.
nat 20 and a
Second
nat
20.
1?
No, I got another nat 20.
Yeah,
My
1 in
God.
400 chance, baby.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
1 in
It said
400
no.
chance.
It said, "Hold on, I
100.
got you. I got you, buddy."
Hey,
We're
listen,
in.
you've had a bad week. Here you go.
Mhm.
There you go. So with that is one successful roll. As you go, you do see these swarms of gadflies, and they seem to be. You seem to be avoiding them. They you can see the like the clouds, that those awful like clouds of gnats that you can see, and so you're avoiding them and you're going doing all that. Let's see, what else do you guys see? You also kind of see off in the distance just a flash of red lightning crackling down from the sky, but far off. And you see what could potentially be coming your way if things don't go well. So once again, second roll, group check at
Fuck.
disadvantage.
Perception?
Perception.
Okay.
Could I bargain for survival?
Nope. No.
Okay.
That's an 18 for the
I
pagan.
rolled
An
2
18.
14s. So that's
I
a
rolled 2
15.
13s. I rolled 2 13s. It was
Weird.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
rolled an
Weird.
18 and then I rolled a 2, so that's a 7.
I got a 16 and a 17 plus 2, so a 16, 18.
Yeah. That's 2 successes. As you guys keep walking, again, fighting against that magnetic push, and again avoiding those swarms of gadflies that would bite and sting and could seriously do damage to you. And now you notice that you are starting to receive the notice of these other damned souls as you are going against the current away from the ferry, and that draws attention because I would like for somebody, if you would like to look into it, maybe insight.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I can do that
to.
as well.
Let me see.
Can all
what
of us
my
incite
insight
it?
is.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who wants
On
to.
a 5, I don't think I get much.
Listen, these souls are damned for a reason. Fuck them.
Mhm. Yeah, the same. Having a.
Yeah, I only got a 12.
I got
Okay.
a 22.
22?
19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Yeah, that
Damn.
snake is real perceptive. Pagan, I will give you you with what you got, like it's a fairly easy thing to kind of, like, again, you have more substance. Like, you've got color, you've got, like, you're very obviously different. So that is kind of what you get from looking around. Prophet and Serpent, you feel this, understand this well of hope that you have access to, and you see, actually kind of appropriate for the thief and the prophet, avarice. There is a want for something that you have that they do not. They are bereft of hope.
Are there any, like, within reach? Are there any that are close by?
Do you want to go to one?
I do.
Okay.
As I would like to go over to one. How do I say this? I would like to walk over. First, I'm just testing the waters. My friend, I see your glance. Are you okay? How can I help you? And just straight up, honest, sincere reach out.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll. They're very stupid. These are
Wow.
raw.
These are
Jesus.
mindless people. So mindless creatures. So go ahead and roll either persuasion or intimidation, whichever version you want this to be.
Intimidation is better, but I do want it to be persuasion. Okay. 19.
You can see this creature starting to reach out to you, not having language anymore. And it pauses and just kind of freezes there. But there is no... So you have recognition. You see recognition of, like, it's not going to attack you, but it still wants something.
I will take that. My friend, in the words of my gospel, I cannot change what has happened, as much as I wish it were not true. You and I are no longer there with our beloveds. Can I offer you some hope? Some respite? Some guidance?
It doesn't show proof of understanding, but is waiting. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to try to grab its hand. I see it reaching out towards me. I'm going to try to take its hand.
Okay.
I like making bad decisions.
You are making a great decision.
Play fast, play rash. We ball.
We ball.
We got all this hope. We're fine. Don't think about anybody else who has to
fine.
play these characters down the road. It's fine.
Other players? There won't be other players.
I'll be all right.
For somebody in the comments. Let's go.
That's
Sorry,
somebody
Canto
else's
3
problem.
cast. R.I.P.
Canto 3 cast. When the prophet dies in Canto 3, it will just be very funny.
Very funny. Does a 17 hit?
Oh, does it hit me? Let me see. Okay.
That brings up a good question of armor class. Like, what is it?
Does.
It's on your character sheet.
It absolutely does hit me.
It hits you.
It
Awesome.
smacks.
All right. So you are going to take
Oh boy.
6 points of necrotic damage.
Oh.
You also, I'm
Hi.
gonna need you to roll a. I rolled a 5 on a d6. I'm gonna need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Nice. Oh, that's bad. That's a 5.
No, so your hit point maximum is reduced by 6.
Jesus. Okay. I'm
This is the life is drained out of you. You are not able to get that back until a long rest is taken.
interesting. I'm going to, reach, yank my hand back. I tried to offer you salvation, my friend. I wanted to give you hope. I wanted to give you peace. Farewell, suffer. And I'm going to start walking away. Does it follow me?
Yeah, it's got full zombie.
I'm
full...
casting Eldritch Blast at it.
Great, go for it.
Great. Does a... What is my spellcasting modifier? Does a 15 hit?
It sure does. It's a
Fuck
10.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's a weak. It's a damn soul. It can't do shit.
All right. Eldritch Blast is a D10. Ooh, that's a 9. Do I have my charisma to that? No, right? No, it's just flat D10.
You should have a
Eldritch Invocation.
I'm trying to think of. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
there's
don't
an
think I do.
invocation that lets you add
Yeah.
the charisma, I think.
Yeah, it's the Eldritch Invocation that allows you to
Yeah.
add your charisma. So it's just 9 damage. It's to the face.
It shrieks as it pulls back, and it looks like it still wants to follow you, but it's like, no. It basically you hit a bear in the face.
Yeah, hey, that'll work.
Don't like it.
But yeah, as I walked forward, I turned around and just snapped my fingers and allowed this bolt of energy to fly out into its face. I do not appreciate those who take advantage of my kindness. And then I leave. And I go back with the group. And, I just wanted to see what would happen.
And you all watched this happen. So
That's unfortunate. That's sad. Poor
So-
fucker.
the prophet has
The
learned
same-
that
Yeah.
these damn souls have the ability to drain your life. So
Yeah, the saint says nothing, but they enjoyed that. You can see, they enjoyed that. But they just keep walking as if nothing happened. And they're not going to say anything about it.
Smile as much as you like. It's fine.
I think the serpent would come up to them and say, we should be mindful while we're down here. The rules of this land seem to be different versus where we once came. I understand your curiosity. I understand your proclivities. It would not serve us for you to perish while we're on this mission. Be mindful. I would greatly appreciate that. He starts walking before the prophet even starts monologuing.
Oh, you fucker. If you appreciate my curiosity, maybe then you would let me talk about it. I was silent for so long. No, I understand. Fine. You can mock me. You're all right. I take it with a grain of salt as we walk forward towards the temple. If
And
you
then-
could see under the golden mask, the prophet is smiling.
Yeah. The universe said, shh.
Were you silent? Were you silent?
And let's make this
There
the
is a
final
distinction.
perception check. There is absolute distinction. Everybody group, last
Always.
perception check. Please at
That's-
disadvantage.
Yep.
Always a distinction. Ooh.
Oh,
Holy-
awful.
That's-
6.
That is disgusting.
God damn it. I went from a 19 plus 5 to a 5 plus 5. So 10.
I got you. I think as the pagans kind of like unsure where to go, the serpent once again reaches out their hand, because I got an 18 and a 17, so that
Good.
17 is a 19. They reach out their hand again towards them, and it's like pointing in a direction of, hey, this way.
I got a 15 and a 13. That 13 becomes an 18. The prophet is giggling to themselves as, everybody's... a couple of us are having moments of confusion. The serpent is trying to guide. The prophet just keeps walking.
And with that last successful group, you have found your way across this awful swampy plain, and you do see a large drove of these you see a drove of these damned, and they are moving towards you all under a banner. And that banner is not gray. It is painted in blood. And the saint, you can roll a history check at advantage.
Oh, okay.
When you say it's painted in blood, like, is it red that we can see?
Yes.
Oh,
Daddy
I love that
20.
visual.
What is it?
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Ew.
Amazing. You recognize the name and the emblem of
Oh god.
the fallen angel Sariel. So Sariel. This is the army that is army of the damned that you can assume is being brought together. Do you but you see no sign of what appears to be an angel. Do you all meet the drove head on, or do you maybe choose to find a different place to maybe regroup or avoid them?
Sorry, I just heard Lex scolding her cat.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I
it's
was
okay.
muted.
It's so
Hey,
cute. It's so
hey.
good. No
Indifferent damned.
apologies.
Stop it. We love you.
Oh, mad.
I agree.
Upset young man. Or I shouldn't assume the gender of your cats. Anyway,
He's again, as I said in our Discord, he is the epitome of a straight white man and has the hubris to go along with it.
yes,
Moose.
Yeah. God damn it, Moose! Stop it.
Yeah.
God, you asshole. Anyway,
Yeah.
the prophet is going to immediately upon seeing this army of the damned and remembering what just happened a couple of minutes ago, or hours or weeks or months ago, they are going to wordlessly just start taking a wide berth, aiming towards the side of the marching banner.
Everyone else?
Yeah, head down, also kind of trying to melt back out of the way.
I'm a stealth.
Roll stealth, please.
Like, I think he's going to, I keep saying he. Apologies.
That's
I think
fine.
before they stealth, they're going to come up to the prophet very swiftly and say, "Are you sure you do not wish to try your gift of gab on them once more?" Before going into the background. Like, again, it's very fast. It's like you get all that, and then it's like, ping.
Exactly. I hear that, and I turn to talk to you, and there's nothing there. And just
Was I even there in the first? Oh yeah, was I even there in the first place? Because that's a nat 20. You heard, but I wasn't even there.
Hey guys, you actually look around,
Serpent?
Prophet. You are like, wait, did the serpent get out of hell?
the fuck
My
just
hand.
happened?
My hand that I had been kind of holding out, waiting for sorry, I was going to say Blackwell, but no, it's the serpent. For the serpent looking for that reassuring hand, I reach out and it's just filled with darkness and nothingness. And I look at the other two and I just take their lead. I don't know what I'm doing.
I think
Also,
I feel like
reaching
it's a
my
serpent.
hand out. And, oh, sorry. No, I was
You
going to make a
first,
joke.
you
You
first.
go.
No, you first.
Make your
Reaching
joke.
out and taking the hand of darkness and nothingness was also my MySpace bio. Thank you. That is all. We were all emo kids in high school. Okay.
Oh God, my brain went to Ebony Darkness Way. If you know what I'm
Empty
talking about.
Empty darkness dementia way, baby. Let's get weird.
Anyways,
Right.
I feel like if the serpent sees the pagan like looking around, like kind of, is it fearful, frightful, unsure, anxiety?
I think it's just unsure because with the pagan doesn't know what they're looking at for the most part. They don't know this religion. They don't know the banner. And they are kind of looking to just take someone else's lead on next steps because they were fully anticipating we're going to walk up and we're going to be like, we're here to save you. We're here to fix the problem. Souls come with me, and that's fixes the issue. But that is clearly not about to be the case. So they're kind of looking around for reassurance that we know what we're doing. We've got a plan.
I
Maybe.
think with that, can I ascertain that like with the relationship I have with them now? I think if they see that, they would, again, from the shadows, you would, if I can, they would take see their hand aloft and they would take it and say, I'm still here. Keep moving forward. It's gonna be all right.
I would make an argument, Pagan, that if you would like to roll a stealth check, you could do so with advantage.
I would love that. I have a +0 to stealth, so that would be greatly appreciated.
Could I use the help action?
As you did.
That's what it is.
That's what it was. That was advantage. You were giving them advantage.
Ah, I got a 4 and a nat 20.
Hell yeah.
Fucking rad.
Also,
Gone.
Pagan, get out of hell. Let's go. So Pagan and Serpent have found there are a lot of ruins around here. You are close to the temple, so there's rocks and columns and things, so you both find a place to sneak behind and stay out of view. Do the Saint and the Prophet, do you move to the side and try to stay out of their way?
Yeah, that was my initial intention of.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
I guess it's a little bit more of where the fuck did the serpent? Where the fuck did the pagan? Okay, just moments of where the fuck
Yeah.
did everybody go? Okay, and then a little bit of a shoulder
Yeah.
charge to get the Saint with me off to one side.
Uh-huh. I think, yeah.
I feel like the serpent would find like some form of rock or rubble and throw it at the prophet's head to get their attention of like, over here.
Splash some mud, some swamp water.
If I can still do that while stealth to keep my stealth. If not, I'm not doing it. But if I can't get away with it,
Nope.
Throw some mud.
As you nudge the Saint out of the way, head down for the Saint, you hear the cry as you are spotted, and the drove runs towards you both. And that's where we're going to pause for the night.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
So,
Oh,
thank
Everything-
you all for
Alright.
joining us.
Oh,
Welcome
I
to
wanna-
Canto 2. Thank you for my players. You guys are amazing. I'm so excited to see what you guys do. And next time we're back, we're just jumping straight into fucking combat, guys.
Jesus
Eli,
Christ.
you said that there were going to be there were going to be a lot of cantos. 30 hope points is not going to be enough.
I know.
That's
we'll
the
be
point.
fine.
Get 'em
We'll
back.
figure it out. We'll be all right.
I
We
mean,
get
listen,
it.
again,
We get 'em back,
as you all
right?
said, kind of not your problem. That sounds like a problem for a future Canto.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
But thank you all for joining us. As a reminder, again, if you can, please go to Blackwell's GoFundMe. We want to support him. He's an amazing person and player, and this is a really fucking hard time. Also, thank you to my players in general, and thank you for watching. Get in the Discord and chat with us because we're all fucking nerds and we fucking love it. Also, we gotta go so Taya can go to sleep because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and it's insane.
How can I
Truly
sleep
insane.
now? I'm so fired up.
Have happy dreams of demon people trying to kill you all. Good night. Bye, everybody.
Get the comment.
Bye.